What's up, everyone? It's your host, Ghost, come to you live with another wonderful video. How is everyone doing? Sorry, just a little bit late today. 7 minutes. I know, I'm late. Terrible. Bad me, bad. Um, I just got home from my workout and whatnot, so it's a little reason why I'm late. Uh but yeah, we got some news going on. Was yesterday what happened was I woke up or at 9 and I was, oh shit, it's 9. And I was like, well, it's way too late for me to be to do my show. So I ended up doing it. And then I realized I hadn't tweeted it out either. So it wasn't like a huge deal. So sorry, let's get my stuff ready. But yeah, that's what happened yesterday. So I'm sorry if you were waiting. I mean, I don't really get many people that watch these live shows, but it's okay. No big deal. It's okay. He's okay. But anyways, so we got a few things today. We're going to talk about Andrew Tate. Some exciting news on that front. Some actual logic. Then we're going to talk about Representative Pramila Jayapal. Jayapal. And her securityness, as she likes to spell. And we're going to look at some of her, let's call it, what she does, what she, goes in for on, for everyone else. Well, okay, we're going to talk about what she spends on security, and then what she, her, what she thinks about other people's, paying for their own security. Probably not the same type of security she uses, but kind of. And then Fraternity, the oldest black fraternity, is pulling out of a 2025 convention out of Florida in protest. And we'll see what that protest is. Let me give you a little tease. Dumb. The protest is dumb. They clearly, it actually kind of proves the failing of the education system. These people are fucking idiots. But maybe they'll change my mind. I am just going off of the headline. I haven't even read the article, but they look dumb. All right. And then after that, we're going to take a look at the drama that was going on in the Andy No trial against the Rose City Antifa. I guess there's some drama going on there. And then we're going to look at a store owner that has sick and tired of thieves, as my old drill sergeant used to say, thieves. So we're going to look at that. And we'll see what these store owners do. But that's the show for the day. So let's go do it. So those of you don't know, don't keep on it, don't care about, maybe you do, maybe don't. You probably don't. But Andrew Tate, we have news on that front. He has finally been released from his house arrest. He's no longer under house arrest. A judge finally took a look, or I think when it comes to Romania, you got to get 3 judges to look over and be like, yeah, no, this is bullshit. This case is bullshit. So I think that's how it works there, if I remember correctly. So it looks like finally majority of the judges voted him to be released from his house arrest. Now, he still has to remain in Romania until the trial and everything, obviously, but he's at least released so he can go and he doesn't have to be stuck at home all the time and be stuck in house, arrest. So, small baby steps. He did tweet Of course he did, because he's got to tweet. So, so this was his tweet. After 10 months 10 months, 3 in jail, 7 at home. After 15 million euros of asset seizures, after an indictment based on nothing. I think he meant to spell indictment, but he doesn't know how to spell apparently. The file was passed to a judge who has ruled it weak and circumstantial. I have been released from house arrest, but must remain within Romania. Now to the mosque Allah Dullah, or whatever it's Ahlam Dulam. I don't know. All right, so there's his tweet. There we go. We got rid of that. Now, what we're going to watch. Is his first speaking out, like his first public speaking out after being let off of house arrest. Let's see what he says. This tweet's from Tate News. I guess I don't know who runs it, but they're all up in the Tate-ness. So let's look at this video.
In January, when I was thrown in a jail cell, the media reported and told the world I was a terrible person. They said that I hurt people and I make a lot of money from criminal enterprise. And here we stand 7 or 8 months later, and I've not seen a single victim on the news. I don't know if you have. I've seen lots of girls sticking up for me, lots of people defending me. I've not seen a single person stand up and say that I have hurt them. Not one. It's very exhausting to continue to perpetuate lies. It's very hard to keep lies afloat when you have no actual evidence. We've been completely innocent since the beginning of this, and I have to give absolute faith to the Romanian judicial system for finally making the right decision and letting us free. I'm sure in the end we'll be absolutely exonerated, and everybody who was pushing these lies and reporting things on repeat without any substantial evidence are going to have to analyze within themselves why they decide to try and destroy people's lives purely for views. I've done nothing wrong. God knows I've done nothing wrong. In my heart, I know I've done nothing wrong. I think the people at home who with a functioning brain understand we've done nothing wrong, because nobody has yet to identify a single victim which is saying that we've done anything to them since the beginning of this entire process. Once again, absolute respect to the judge, respect to Romania, respect to the Romanian judicial system. I look forward to being completely exonerated in due time. Thank you.
All right, so that's what he has to say. Even after all this, he's still being fairly respectful. Give him props there. But yeah, he's finally been released from house arrest, at least. Which I think, it should have happened like a long time ago. I think anyone who has half a brain and actually looked at the case and the facts that one of the ladies that have done this, or that is accusing him, has done this repeatedly, so much so that one of her victims that she's accused of rape and all that good stuff, killed himself, which is very sad. And it was false. Turned out to be false. So she's done this multiple times, so many times that the fact that she's even believed is really ridiculous. But I mean, what can you do? But, it's good. Finally, he was released. And, whether I've had this stance, whether you like Andrew Tate or not, or whether you agree with his message, you don't like him at all, you think he's dumb or whatever, whatever you think of the guy personally, you have to at least agree that, putting someone in house arrest without being charged. Putting them in jail without being charged, and then putting them under house arrest for 7 months. Was it? I'm just gonna go back down there. What is it? So yeah, putting them in jail for 3 months, and then 7 and on house arrest without being charged, and then charging them. And at the last hour before, like the week before it expires, and you would have to let them go, is ridiculous. And yes, I understand that is the law in Romania. I understand that. I really do. I've had arguments with people about this, and it's like, oh, well, that's the law in Romania. Okay, but the law can be wrong. like, on just a basis level of, it can be still wrong just because it's the law. And you're like, yeah, it's the law. I agree. 100%. It is the law. 100%. No argument. That is the law there. But it's still wrong to put someone in jail, deprive them of their liberty, and not charge them. Like, in the US, it's like 72 hours, I think, for most states. And even I think that's too far. I think honestly, you can't. I think it should be you can't put someone in jail unless you've charged them. You can't keep them unless you charge them. You can't just keep them for more than a day, because even 3 days that can harm you. Depending. I mean, like if I miss 3 days without pay, devastate, how hard, it wouldn't be devastating. Like, I'd be able to make it up, but it would be kind of rough for, probably a month or so, or no, probably a couple months until I could make it up if I didn't have any, savings or anything. And I make pretty good money at my job. I do this side, and I don't make money for my side business here, which is doing this stuff. But at my other job, I make really good money. But if I missed 3 days without pay, it'd be kind of a struggle for maybe a month or two. I'd have to work extra hard to make up for it. But yeah. Anyways. But yeah, that's my basic point of it. Like, whatever you think about Andrew Tate, you love him, hate him, whatever, you gotta admit that it's wrong to hold someone, regardless if it's the law. In that area, it's still wrong. Like, I think we can all agree. Okay, everyone with a sense in their brain can agree that it's wrong to hold someone for an extended amount of time without charging. And that's pretty much been my point on when it comes to their arrest and everything. I mean, I don't believe the charges. I've seen the WhatsApp messages. I've seen the video. The fact that Emma Gabby, also known as Eden something or whatever, she's done this several times. So yeah, no, I don't believe this at all. But anyways, so I mean, that's a small win. It's a win I didn't think was actually. I thought they were going to continue to be held until the trial. But no, hey, there's a plus there. All right. So let's get on to. Oh wait, hold on. So we're going to talk about Washington State Representative Pramila Jayapal. I don't know. I have a very unique name, and it's very hard to pronounce for people. But I also have difficulty pronouncing other people's names. It's complicated names. All right. Fuck off with you. Sorry, here's some more stuff. All right, so we're going to talk about this lady next. Wonderful. There we go. All right, so U.S. Representative, whatever, this chick, Jayapal. All right, Democratic Seattle. Okay, so has reportedly spent over $45,000 this year on home security using campaign donations, according to federal elections commissions. The leader of the Congressional Progressive Caucus and one of the many congressional leaders who have ramped up spending on personal security and an effort that has increased since oh my God, it was not oh my God, Seattle Times. Oh, by the way, this is from the Seattle Times, so you can see what side they lean. Deadly right. It's interesting. I highly doubt it had anything less to do with January 6th and more with the Summer of Love. I think that had far more. Oh, by the way, Chaz, whatever it's called, happened in Seattle, where this lady's from. I bet that's when she really started ramping up her personal security. But I don't know. I'm just an average Joe. Oh, my daughter and my wife are up. Sorry, just checking some emails. Yes. Okay. So, anyways, but yeah, I'm willing to bet that's more when the whole ramp up security. But anyways, let's just continue. As a national figure in U.S. politics and chair of 104 member Progressive Caucus, Jayapal never expected to focus so keenly on her personal security. Okay, sure. I've had threats against my life, including a man showing up with a gun at my door, and I never in a million years thought that I would need to take such strong steps to protect my safety and security just to be able to do my job. The job that people elected me to do. Yeah, it's interesting because the city in Seattle, I'm sure there's many, many people that have to ramp up their own personal security because of the massive crime wave that is going on in Seattle. I mean, I covered it on the show. An innocent woman getting gunned down while just sitting at a red light. And her husband, got wounded, didn't die, but she died, and so did their unborn baby. And I'm sure there's many store owners who have to ramp up their own security. So I'm just saying. Said in an interview with the Seattle Times, all the security-related expenditures were recorded between January and June. I'm just going to point this out. Yeah, although they said up here January 6, 2021, doesn't really say when January and June. Just saying. I'm just saying. The FEC allows Congress people greater leeway when spending donations on personal protection. Eric Chalopbach, the senior director of the campaign at the DC-based Campaign Legal Center, wrote in a statement that the FEC has allowed office holders to spend funding on securities due to heightened threat environments facing members of Congress, but that might change if the threat environment should diminish significantly. Jayapal is one of many lawmakers who have prioritized security expenditures. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, our Republican Georgia, spent more than $65,000 in campaign funds on a fence for her home this year, according to FEC filings. The expenditure was first reported by Raw Story. I don't think any member should be physically attacked. I think that kind of violence is wrong. Everywhere, period. Oh, really? The Congresswoman noted that because of the heightened levels of threat towards her entire team, it had to adjust security measures. She still insists on attending events in person, notable town halls, but the campaign recommends constituent book appointments before visiting her office. We just had to really think about how we can still be open and still be accessible, but still be mindful and protective of not just my security, but my family's security and members of staff. In early July, Brett Forsell, a Seattle man, pled guilty to misdemeanor stalking and was sentenced to 364 days in King County Jail after he was arrested in front of Jayapal's home over a year ago with a loaded .40 handgun. He was ordered to have no contact with Jayapal and was prohibited from possessing firearms for 8 years. Jayapal. Yeah, I'm keep mispronouncing his name. I don't care. Said she has also worked with former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Democratic California, to increase security at homes of other members of Congress. House and Senate candidates in the 2022 election cycle spent around $7.5 million on digital and physical security, and a $6 million increase from 2020. Okay. Based on the new threat assessment statistics released earlier this year by the U.S. Capitol Police, law enforcement investigators investigated 7,501 threats towards members of Congress. This figure includes concerning statements and direct threats. This data shows a drop from 9,625 threats in 2021 and 8,613 in 2020, but it's still higher than the 6,955 and 5,206 threats examined in 2019 and 18. Okay. So that's that. Now, let's point out some hypocrisy. So she wants to spend $45,000 on her own security, but she has, back in 2020, she was all up on the whole gun control shit. Okay, calm down. My internet's acting funny. Other solutions that would keep guns out of the wrong hands include requiring universal background checks for every purchase. An idea supported by over 80% of gun owners. Bullshit. Bull. Sorry about that. My internet crapped out on me. So let me try that again. Okay. Sorry about that. Hopefully we'll not act like that again. Anyways, for every purchase, an idea is supported by over 80% of gun owners. Bullshit. Again, I think I just talked about this in the Matthew McConaughey thing I did on Wednesday Wednesday. No, if that was true, this would be universal background checks would already be a thing. It's not. Oh, it's not 80%. It's bullshit. They're such fucking liars. If you believe that 80% of gun owners support universal background checks, you're a fucking idiot. Closing gun sales loopholes. What loopholes? Okay, explain to me what loopholes. Enacting protections that make sure those with severe mental illness do not have access to guns. There's already a system to do that. It's called adjudicated mentally deficient. What's the term? Adjudicated mentally adjudicated mentally defective. So that's a due process way to do it. and ensure guns are locked and secure where children won't access them. That's on the going on over. Then of course banning assault weapons and all that shit. So, anyways, now why did I bring this up? Okay. Why did I bring this up? Well, very simple. The reason I brought it up is to point out the hypocrisy of her. She spends was it $45,000 on security, which I guaranteed also means which also means more than likely, I'm assuming, I don't know, but I'm assuming that also includes bodyguards and whatnot like that. So but then she also sorry. But also means personal protection, I assume. I could be wrong about that. I don't know. But there is more than likely that. But then she goes around and wants to take those same rights that she enjoys from other citizens. Now, you may be wondering, sorry. Where was I? Sorry, my mind. I'm getting distracted here. I realized I didn't bring something. Getting way too distracted. I know. There we go. All right, cool. Oh my god, come on. That would be difficult. All right, there we go. There we go. Sorry. But anyway, that's why I'm bringing it out. Is while she wants to spend money on her security, she also wants to take something that a lot of Americans will use as a way to protect themselves. Firearms. It's the great equalizer. So she's willing to do that. She's willing to spend all this money on her own personal security, but fuck you if you want to buy guns, raising the minimum age from 18 to 21. Oh, fuck those fuck you for 4 years, I guess. Probably sorry, I keep getting distracted. I know, bad me. God damn, my fucking mind's blanking. But yeah, okay, back there you go. What the hell is this? Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm getting a bunch of things going on right now. But yeah, fuck you if you want to protect your family using firearms or anything like that. God forbid you do any of that. God forbid that you spend any money on that. She wants to restrict your ability to do protect yourself with with 2A with firearms. But it's a hypocrisy I notice with a lot of politicians, and it annoys the shit out of me. They will they will spend money on their own security and deprive you uh, security of your own, which is generally through a firearm. That's generally how average citizens who can't afford the amount of money it'll cost to have personal protection. Well, not personal protection, but bodyguards and whatnot. That's how most average citizen would use is a firearm. So it's a hypocrisy I see with a lot of politicians, and it annoys the living shit out of me. But anyways, that's all on that thing. That's the thing. Sorry, I keep getting distracted. Someone's messaging me on Twitter, and I'm very poor at multitasking a lot of times. But anyways, like I say, it's just a hypocrisy I notice, and it really irritates the ever living shit out of me. Politicians will walk around, politician, and a lot of like the not just politicians, but like late night hosts and all that shit. They have a bunch of protection in their workplace and everything like that. And generally, they're bodyguards and whatnot. It's guys with guns that are protecting them, and then they go and try and spout, "Oh, can't own a firearm." It's a hypocrisy I see a lot, and like I said, it just drives me up the wall. All right, I have beaten the dead horse with that. So now we're going to go to this. Alpha Pi Alpha moves out of Florida. Alpha's move out of Florida could be the first of many black organizations. The president of Alpha Pi Alpha, estimates his organization's protest will inspire black groups that typically would not have batted an eye at meeting in the Sunshine State. Okay, sure. Anyways, sorry. Now, what this tweet from NBC I saw, this is obviously NBC News. The tweet I saw, so we'll see if this is true, but it says the nation's oldest black fraternity is pulling its 2025 convention out of Florida in protest of the state's approval of a new public educational curriculum that indicates some black people benefited from slavery. Now, we will see what they mean by this. Now, what are they saying? Because we'll look and see how dumb they end up sounding. Sorry, just responding. Okay, so that's what this article is supposed to entail. So let us read. Statewide policy under Florida statewide policies under Florida Governor Ron DeSantis prompted the nation's oldest black fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha, to pull its 2025 convention out of the state as a form of protest. But now, the group's president, Willis L. Lorenz III, said he thinks his fraternity's decision may galvanize other black organizations to ditch Florida for their major events, particularly after the approval of a new educational curriculum that includes points indicating that some black people benefited from slavery. So let's see what, hopefully this article will show what it says. Okay. Lonzer said officials from each of the 8 other black fraternities and sororities and leaders of other organizations have reached out to say they stand with the alphas and are committed not to schedule any sorry again. Reach out to say they stand with are committed to not schedule any events that would bring significant revenue to Florida. Even before the Alphas made their announcement, the National Society of Black Engineers last month pulled its scheduled convention from Orlando with plans to move it to Atlanta in March for the same reasons the fraternity cited. This is a multi-pronged armamentarium. I have no idea what that fucking word means. Let's look. What does that mean? What the fuck? So he says this is a multi-pronged armamentarium, which means the medicines, equipments, and techniques available to a medical practitioner. There other or a fruitful source of devices or materials available or used for an undertaking. Apparently that's what that word means. Okay, whatever. I have no idea. That we have provided to attack racial prejudice and policies that are white supremacist in nature. We have, Lorenz said, we have here a situation where Jim Crow has morphed from what it was 40 to 50 years ago, and we're in the process of developing new tactics to attack this. Okay. Initially, Alpha Phi Alpha decided not to drop their plans to convey in Florida, as we're not afraid to wade into waters where there's controversy, Lonzer said. We saw in many respects that Governor DeSantis has continued to push policies harmful to black people, to brown people, and marginalized communities in Florida. DeSantis has said Florida is where woke goes to die. He doubled down on his comment in January, where his administration said it would block a new advanced placement African American study course from being taught in public high school, prompting some black parents to say they will teach the history at home to assure their children are well versed. DeSantis also has been vocal about banning the teaching of critical race theory in public schools and about other policies that some consider to be anti-gay or anti-immigration. The final factor, Lonzer said, came when the DeSantis administration's new curriculum that suggests that slavery was somehow beneficial to those enslaved. Anyone who suggests that is either incredibly ignorant or grossly divisive, and that's why we decided to make an economic protest. Lonzer estimates Orlando will miss out on at least $15 million in revenue from conventions. More than 10,000 people about half of whom were registered Alpha Phi Alpha brothers, recently flocked to Dallas for the organization's 97th annual convention. The other half were people from other organizations who joined the festivities. With its policy, Florida, Lonzer said, has blown an opportunity for revenue in Orlando and the state more broadly. This thing with the alphas is saying a lot, James Strickland, a black Orlando resident. I hope other groups follow them because it's really embarrassing to say I live in Florida. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Come on. Why don't you say, go to California and say you live in California? I bet you're far more embarrassed if you live in California. I'm glad the alphas pulled out of their convention. It hurts my community, but the only way to get people to listen is to hit them in the pockets. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Florida ends up getting like something else to replace them that gives just as much revenue, but we'll see. Lonzer will take over in September as chairman of the Council of Presidents, a group that represents all black fraternities, sororities known as Divine Nine, and he promises more aggressive measures. We have 9 strong leaders, and we will work together and really cut out new opportunities for us to try and employ pressures that will be favorable for the communities we support. Alpha Phi Alpha is strong. All other organizations are strong, but united, we are stronger. In July, Kappa Alpha Psi, another Black Greek letter fraternity, held its national conclave in Tampa because it had already been planned and paid for. Shortly before the convention, the Kappas released a statement saying they are joining other organizations in solidarity against insensitive, discriminatory, and racist policies which being promoted in the state of Florida by Governor Ron DeSantis and his allies. Still, Lorenzo said Alpha Phi Alpha stands in solidarity with men of Kappa. The fraternity, Omega Psi Phi, plans to head to Tampa for its national conclave in July 2024. Leaders have not announced plans to move it at this point, which have been point of controversy within Omega. Some of its groups have told NBC News. Meanwhile, the pushback on DeSantis' policy is not new. In May, the NAACP issued a travel advisory to black people who had planned to visit the state. The advisory read, Florida is openly hostile towards African. No, it's not. That's bullshit. African Americans, people of color, and LGBTQ plus individuals. Before traveling to Florida, please understand that the state of Florida devalues and marginalizes contributions of and challenges faced by Africans and other. Okay, yeah, that's dumb. Leon W. Russler, the chairman of the NAACP National Board of Directors, said the advisory was issued for multiple and intersecting marginalized communities. If you're part of any of these communities, Black, Latino, LGBTQ, or if you stand in support of these communities, you need to work with us. Think about a proactive civic engagement policy, because this, at the end of the day, is about politics, Russell, who lives in Tampa, said. In a statement to media at the time, the DeSantis administration said the NAACP travel advisor was nothing more than a stunt. Yeah. Lonzer said Alpha Phi Alpha is already looking ahead to 2024. For the next election, we'll make sure we get people to the polls and they can vote. Best thing that citizens of Florida can do, and that's what we're encouraging. We're trying to make sure that we can shift some of these narratives so that the legislative body and others can help with the lift to bash white supremacy, and these racist policies that are taking place. All right, so there it is. Now, I'm looking up to see what it has, what the new standard is. So, what it looks like, that's the problem. Now, what I assumed when I first made this post and made my comments and everything was that it was going to say, black people had enslaved and sold their other people. So, I thought that's what this was going for, and they were protesting that. I was wrong. I think they're still dumb. Wasn't wrong about that. They're still pretty fucking dumb. Because so here is the um all right, so here's the standard that they're talking about, NBC, and why the whatever group Alpha Phi Alpha pulled out of Florida. All right, so here's the curriculum that's being taught. Although the new standard includes many conventional lesson points about the history of slavery, they also include a sentence. Now, I'm going off of what this says. It's WRAL.com. It's fact check. So it includes a sentence. So this whole thing's over a sentence that enslaved people developed skills that could be applied for their personal benefit. Okay? I mean, are they wrong? Like, it could, like, it's not saying that. And again, I'm just going off of what this fact check place is saying, but all it says is enslaved people develop skills that could be applied for their personal benefit. I mean, that very well could be true. I mean, like, it doesn't say anything about slavery being good or anything, but it could be very well true. It could, it could have been when the when black people that were slaves got freed. They took the skills they gained, because look, you're working at a place where you're going to develop some skills, well, whether plowing, planting, whatever, all that, the cotton crap or whatever, or like that movie with Forrest Whitaker, The Butler. He learned some skills that eventually caused him to be able to join the staff at the White House and everything. So I mean, it's not wrong. It's not incorrect. And and I guess it's drawn heated rebuttal from historians who consider it factually misleading. That's not really misleading. It's true that they develop skills, because if you work somewhere for a long enough time, you're going to develop some sort of skill. Or if you do something over a long period of time, you're going to do something, you're going to develop some skills. And it could apply for their personal benefit. Like my example, the butler, what was that guy? That movie with Forrest Whitaker, the guy who, went from guy who, well, let's see, he wasn't Eugene Allen. That was the movie that was based on. The guy's name was Cecil Gaines, but in the movie, but he was the story. It was loosely based on Eugene Allen. But at least in the movie, just reading, but like at least in the movie, He he was born and raised in a cotton plantation. Um, his father was killed. He then was taken by the estate caretaker, was trained to be a house servant, and eventually he became a waiter. And he was like hired in the White House, and and then became like the top butler. So I mean that's an example, and of course it's a movie. It's loosely based on Eugene Gaines, so it's not or Eugene Allen, and it's not 100% what happened and everything like that. I mean, there's not much about his. It wasn't. It's not a. It's not like the exact recreation of his life, but that's an example of an enslaved person that developed that that worked and developed skills and applied it for their own personal benefit once they were freed and was able to. So I mean that's not really that inaccurate. But apparently, it's every time we talk about slavery, if you're not saying that slavery is wrong every 5 seconds, you're a horrible person. Apparently, okay. All right, here we go. All right, so now we'll talk about the Andy No trial. Um, so that trial's been going on, I think, since like Monday or something like that, and sorry. Um, Apparently, Antifa has been going into court and causing disruptions. They apparently tweeted out something. Let's see. Man, I am tired. I haven't gone to bed yet. They tweeted out revolving rising tomorrow 8:30 a.m. court room 14A. Please be there in support of our comrades being wronged by a right wing maggot, Andy No, trying to profit off of others' blood, sweat, and tears. And then another tweet $100 to bail fund of whoever milkshakes him next. Milkshakes. There's a big controversy. Like they get milkshakes and they put like acid or cement in there and throw it at people, or just throw a regular milkshake at them. Anyone who assaults Andy should be given a medal and elected mayor. True heroes. Nothing. None of this person apparently replied. Nothing wrong with milkshakes. It's hot as hell in here. Is anyone tracking his movements in the cities? Is his presence making us all unsafe? Plate number security. Go to a hotel or mother's house near Mount Tabor. Wow, these people. So that's what they were tweeting, and then I guess this reporter Katie Daviscourt, she's part of the she's a reporter for T Post Millennial, and that's where Andy No is a senior editor. On Tuesday, Antifa was in the courtroom making public nuisance, and the bailiff gave him a warning. Antifa purposely sat behind Mr. Andy No and mocked him during court proceedings. Antifa's members that showed up to the trial allegedly run the post below. Where there's that. Wonder if they. I'm not signing up for anything. Okay, so I wonder if anything else has. No, that's. What the fuck is this? Okay. Oh. I guess we'll read this article. This is TP, or was it? This is T Post Millennial. Is this article? All right. It says on Wednesday, the jury trial of Post Millennial senior editor, investigative journalist Andy Ngo against Rose City Antifa is alleged, and its alleged affiliated members resumed from day 2 in the Moulton County Courthouse in Portland, Oregon. While witness testified from plaintiff Andy Ngo was delivered before the jury, alleged Antifa members disrupting the court proceedings and the presiding judge threatening to hold individuals in contempt of court or over alleged safety concerns and possible leak of intelligence. Probably should hold all these Antifa members in wherever. Trial began with Judge Sinalaplasi, whatever. Heard safety concerns from Ngo's legal team. These concerns regarding alleged threats of violence issued on Twitter involving the account Rising PDX. The plaintiffs claim that Elizabeth Richter, one of the defendants, has alleged ties to that account. Ngo's attorneys raised concern about how the accounts went on private mode after Ngo's legal team brought up the alleged threats in court. Defendant Richter allegedly has a close relationship with the owner of that account, which she admitted during her depositions, according to the plaintiffs. Oh, that's dumb. Well, I mean, it's not. Well, it is dumb. This raises concern about intel being shared during the trial, which is illegal. Judge Silapasley issued a robust warning indicating that strict security measures are in place due to alleged threats made before the trial. And she threatened to hold parties in contempt of court if individuals fail to abide by the strict set of rules she enacted for the trial. Ngo's legal team then expressed concerns that Judge Silapasley's decision to strike evidence which allegedly showed deleted tweets and communications via Signal by the defendants. The judge ruled Tuesday that evidence cannot be shown to the jury after Ngo's team argued that this alleged evidence is critical to the case. Judge Silapasi then called Ngo to the stand to continue testifying under oath, in which he was questioned by his attorney, Dorothy Yamato. Evidence of Ngo's allegation against the defendant, John Colin Hacker and Elizabeth Renee Richter, were submitted to the court and shown to the jury. Regarding this May 7, 2019 incident in which Hacker allegedly assaulted and forcibly took Ngo's phone during an unprovoked altercation at a 24-hour gym, Ngo testified that Hacker had allegedly confronted him about his reporting in a highly critical manner. Hacker appeared very angry during the altercations. Ngo alleged video evidence of the incident that was presented to court, which allegedly showed Hacker striking Ngo's phone out of his hand after approaching Ngo in an aggressive manner. I guess this is the video. Okay. During opening statements, Hacker's defense lawyer, Ms. Burrow, has argued that Ngo's reporting a few days prior to altercations on May 1st, 2019 involved one of Hacker's incidents that was allegedly injured during the incident. Burroughs said Ngo's reporting had angered Hacker, which is why the defendant allegedly confronted Ngo. That doesn't give him any justifications for assault. It's not like Ngo was the one who injured his friend. Ngo testified that his reporting that day was consistent had consisted of Twitter threads of events that took place in chronological order. This includes sharing videos, photos, recordings, speech, chants that happened during the event. During this event, which occurred outside of a restaurant named Cedar Riot in Portland, Oregon, No was attacked multiple times by alleged members of Antifa. He was reportedly doused in bear mace and allegedly beaten by one of the defendants in the complaint, Benjamin Patrick Bolton, which whom he has reached a settlement before jury trial on July 14th, 2023. Did you have any reason to believe your reporting would harm anyone? Attorney Yamamoto asked No. No testified no, and then explained he was reporting on a public event that had been advertised on social media, and other members of the press were also there to report on it. No, Yamato asked No, were you ever intending to hurt anyone with your reporting? No testified. Yamato asked No, after the incident May 7, 2019, did you talk to anyone about the incident after it occurred? Yes. No testified. Evidence of this was submitted by No to the court. This is when No allegedly found out Hacker's name for the first time. Evidence submitted to court showed that an unidentified individual had publicly named John Colin Hacker as No's attacker on Twitter, and that No allegedly had asked the individual to delete that tweet so Hacker couldn't get harassed. This communication exchange allegedly happened through direct messages on Twitter. A string shot of the exchange and communications between the plaintiff and the individual that was submitted as evidence is as follows. Unidentified individual, his name is John Hacker. Could you remove the tweet where you named him publicly? I don't want him to get harassed. Unidentified individual, okay. Despite allegedly being attacked by defendant Hacker, No testified he had issued the request because he takes great pride in his reporting being extremely accurate and had not been able to independently verify that the person that had allegedly attacked him was Hacker. No was later able to identify that it was in fact John Colin Hacker. After No was testified about the trauma that the alleged Antifa attack had on his physical and mental health, which forced him to flee the country. I'm assuming that actually means county. In order to feel a sense of safety. No explained that he went back out into the field to report in Portland in 2021 to work on a new chapter in his book, Unmasked Inside Antifa's Radical Plan to Destroy Democracy, which became New York best-time seller. No testified about the barrel attack that had broken him, which occurred on May 28th in 2021 by alleged members of Antifa in downtown Portland. No was chased and severely beaten, which resulted in extensive physical injuries and mental health trauma. This incident, also referred to as the Nines Hotel incident, allegedly involved both defendants, Hacker and Richter. Video footage and social media posts of Neo's allegations were submitted to court by the plaintiffs as evidence. No testified. Sorry for coughing into the mic. I hope that doesn't hurt your ears. No testified he was covering a direct action that had allegedly been organized by Antifa on May 28th, 2021, which was in commemoration of the anniversary of 1 year of riots, the Summer of Love, that had erupted across the U.S. in 2020 following the death of George Floyd. No said he took extra precautions to cover this event, which include concealing his identity behind a black mask while also wearing goggles, dressing in black garments, draping a Black Lives Matter flag across his shoulders. Man went undercover. No testified he was able to report it on the event without incident and explained that he felt a sense of relief. That is, until he was approached by defendant John Colin Hacker, which resulted in a significant turn of events from No that severely impacted the course of his life. Is this Hacker? Or, yeah, this must be Hacker. Man, that is one, or is that No? Hold on. I don't know if that's no after he got his, or if this is the dude. No, I guess that is John Colin Hacker. God, that is one ugly motherfucker. Holy shit. No testified that Hacker was the first person that had approached him that night. He allegedly asked No a question about his goggles, wondering if he could see through them. When Hacker approached him, No said that he felt frozen and refused to say anything because he didn't want Hacker to hear his voice. He then recalled Hacker walking away. No testified that this conversation caused him temporary panic because of the prior incident involving Hacker that occurred on May 7th, 2019. I was very nervous at the point because of our prior encounter. I also saw on his social media that in 2020 he posted a video of another undercover journalist trying to out him. No that testified that 4 people in Black Bloc that came from the same area that Hacker and Richter were allegedly in surrounded him, with one individual asking No, why do you look so nervous tonight? No said that this question made him freeze. Someone else allegedly asked No, is that a British accent? Which was followed by another individual that had allegedly speculated, I think it's him. No said he began to walk away thinking I have to get out of here. Explained that he started to panic and attempted to enter into a local business, but the door was locked. No said that the panicking escalated because he could hear footsteps behind him and see shadows of people following him. No said then he had turned around and he's surrounded by Antifa, and one individual allegedly said, why don't you take off your mask? This is when one Antifa member allegedly pulled No's mask and goggles off, after which the group then shouted, it's Andy, get him, get him. I sprinted away the fastest I've ever run in my life. I ran. The plaintiff thought to himself, they know it's me now. If they get me, I will get killed. No testified that he attempted to escape the mob by pounding on people's cars, asking pedestrians for help, attempting to enter into businesses, but no one would help him. The mob eventually caught up to him, and No received a series of beatings across the city. During opening statements, Burrow, Hacker's attacker, argued before the jury that Hacker did not announce No's location, nor was he involved in the brutal incident on this night. No's attorneys presented evidence that they say contradict Burrow's arguments. No's team submitted both video footage and written evidence that allegedly showed Hacker roaming with a pack of alleged Antifa members that had brutally attacked No. As well as doxing No's location on social media during the attack, he was able to point out Hacker in the video footage and verify social media post from Hacker in which he allegedly posted No's location on his Twitter account, John the Lefty, that night. People are saying Andy No was spotted at Portland protests and chased off, said he ran into AC hotels or the nines. Hacker tweeted on the May 28, 2021, according to screenshots submitted into evidence. This guy's fucking dumb. Plaintiff broke down the surveillance footage obtained from that night, which revealed that defendant John Colin Hacker was either marching with the mob of Antifa or in close range to the Black Bloc Antifa members, where they allegedly assaulted No, according to the video evidence. No referred to the brutal beating as a near-death experience, saying that he had thought he was going to die and that it was the worst panic I have had in my life. He was beaten so badly that the skin on his knees was shredded off. He had pain in multiple areas, had difficult walking and other injuries. He was pushed against a wall and was hit repeatedly, tackled down, police placed into a chokehold. I guess his thoughts were, get away. God damn, I am not going to read all this fucking hell. Let's see. Mm. Oh, I guess he actually did leave the country. Okay, so here's more. Here's when the Antifa, I guess, disrupted court proceedings. During trial, alleged members of the Antifa caused a nuisance in court while Noah was testifying before the jury. This was after allegedly threatening on Twitter. Alleged threats on Twitter were made, resulting in heavier police presence at the courthouse on Wednesday. Antifa member viewing the trial began to harass members of the press, including myself, which resulted in them receiving a significant amount of warnings from the sheriff. They should have been removed. The judge then enacted stricter media policies after ordering a recess following the disruptions. The policies in place for media while in the courtroom includes no cell phones, internet connections, live reporting, tweets. Mm-hmm. Okay, so there we go. I guess day 3 is going to be cross examinations. So there you go. That's That's what's all going on with Andy No and his trial. I hope he wins because fuck Antifa. All right. So when owners fight back, so we're gonna watch this video and then we'll be done.
And nothing you can do, man, until the police come in. Hey, don't. Hey, ain't nothing you can do, man. Don't do that. Don't do that, man. Don't do that.
It's okay. Okay, brother. Okay.
Whooping his ass, man. Let's start whooping your ass.
That is an ass whooping. Oh, that guy's a Sikh. Oh, that guy's a Sikh. He ain't fucking around. All right, so this is obviously a 7-Eleven. Thank you. Come on. Oh, dude, hey. Look, stop stealing from people's stores. These are their livelihoods. If you get your ass beat, take it like a man. If you're man enough to steal from someone's store, you're man enough to get your ass kicked by that store owner. Just, it's just my thoughts. They were hitting him in the ass. That guy on the commentary, oh, that's a real ass whooping. I mean, he was getting hit on the ass, so I guess accurate. So that's it. All right. I'll probably get kicked off YouTube now because I was laughing at violence. I didn't think that was really violence. No blood or gore or anything. Just getting hit by, looks like a plastic broomstick. All right. Well, that's the end of the show. An hour and 14 minutes. I'll be later. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I am exhausted. I've got to go to bed. I'm going to go to bed right now. My throat hurts. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We learned some interesting things. It was a good show, right? Yeah. Make sure you follow me on X at @officialwghost. I always tweet when I'm going live, except yesterday I apparently didn't tweet that, but I generally tweet when I'm going live, and I post the links so you can follow me on those links. Get to my show and be able to do that. But make sure you follow once you get to where my show is. Make sure you follow me on Rumble with Ghost, as well as YouTube, same name, and then Gaming with Ghost on Rumble and Kick. So follow me there. I hope you all have a good day, and peace out. See ya.